Hi, everyone. It's Tuesday, so know what that means? It's me and Mel, hopefully, on Aloha Tuesday. And we're late because Mel was having a wardrobe malfunction. He didn't have a Hawaiian shirt, but he swears that's a Hawaiian shirt. You just can't see palm trees.
This is a Hawaiian shirt, believe it or not. It's an Aloha shirt, but it's hard to see. It's got palm trees woven in. You can't see them, but
we believe you.
There's another reason, too. Wearing black until this ice threat has melted.
Oh, jeez.
So I will always, maybe with one of my Aloha shirts, have some black in it, or a pair of black trousers or black socks. There'll be something on my body that's black, some clothing.
I was going to say a white spot because the ice is melting.
Well, I have a shirt that says ice is melting in a peace sign, so there you go.
Hi, Mel.
Hello. How are you?
I'm all right.
Good.
I just got a call from a friend of mine in Kansas, in Lawrence, that ice has started in Lawrence.
Well, the folks in Kansas are going to stand up to them, just like the folks in Minneapolis did, just like the folks in Chicago did. And you know, when they were like, well, we're pulling away from Minneapolis, that was all optics. And my guides, we had said, you know what, it doesn't mean anything because they're just going to start acting up other places. So there you go. But I did hear that Tricia McLaughlin, Department of Homeland Security spokesperson, is leaving her post in 2 weeks. I don't see any
tears. Is she going into rehab? Just asking.
I don't see any tears being shed over that.
No.
This is not going to bode well for ICE in Kansas. I can tell you that right now.
No. I think a lot of people learn from the previous events what to do and what not to do around ICE now.
Well, there's going to be an outcry there too.
Yeah.
And they're there because they're thinking that some of the citizens there will help ICE illegally round up and detain innocent people. And they might get a little bit of help, but the biggest part of the people are going to be like, no, we do not want this. So they're doing it there for optics because Kansas is kind of red, and thinking that they can get by with it in Kansas. It's not going to fly.
No.
People in Kansas are going to be protesting in mass. I can tell you that right now. So,
well,
nice.
Before we go into the protests,
yes,
tonight's all about political. We're not doing personal questions. So, and please fill in caps. It helps. And we have Sherry, who just did a 2-hour Mardi Gras party on her line behind us, and she can barely talk. So,
happy Mardi Gras.
Hello.
Which means Fat Tuesday, day before Lent.
So, that. So, if anyone needs a wonderful, wonderful reading and wants to contact Mr. Mel, you can go to meldor.com or call 847-59. It's 590-5411. And yes, I am wearing glasses. But in the meantime, Mr. Mel's got some traveling news.
Okay, well, the Danube trip is sold out, and we're past final payment. So I've got openings for Iceland. But if you're going to go to Iceland, and I say this, again, do it quickly because everybody and their brother is going to see the eclipse, and we're going to be there seeing the eclipse, the solar eclipse. It'll last for about a minute and a half in totality, but the airline seats are selling out. So there might be hotel space, but maybe not enough airline seats. So if you want to come to Iceland, call my office at the number below. Galapagos is sold out, but I'm taking wait list. And, for those of you who might think, well, why be on a wait list? Well, there was just 2 cancellations last week, and I was able to fill that with my wait list. So, And then I've got some exciting trips coming next year. But this year, June the 18th to the 21st, that's going to be the Gettysburg event with myself and Kevin Chandler, and haunted history experience. It's going to be neat. It's going to be we'll go on the battlefields. We'll have a tour of that, Farnsworth House, the Jenny Craig House, the orphanage. So it'll be fun. So if you're interested in that, call my office. That's selling out really fast.
Did you say Jenny Craig House?
Jenny Craig, not Jenny Craig. I'm sorry, Jenny Wade. Jenny Wade. My mind is not good.
Some woman sitting there eating with all your.
Jenny Wade. I'm sorry, Jenny Craig. Kevin, if you're watching this, you'll get a charge out of it. Jenny Wade House.
I've been to Gettysburg. It's fascinating.
It is. It's not real big, as you know, but it's just not one battlefield. There's numerous battlefields.
Yeah.
But it is fascinating. So, when people talk about Civil War, they don't realize how bloody it was. In Gettysburg, there were over 30,000 people that died, and it was a turning point of the Civil War, actually. But there was so many people that died that they couldn't bury all the bodies. And this one woman worked around the clock just burying bodies. And so cholera, typhoid, all kinds of diseases hit because they couldn't dispose of the people who died. So it's not a Civil War is not a happy state of affairs. So
No.
I
Glad you guys are doing that. That sounds like a lot of fun.
I just want to touch on something if I can. There's certain words we have to be careful of on YouTube. And so we use euphemisms and we say unalive. And some people have given some feedback for that. And it's not that we have to, because otherwise we could get our channel taken down or demonetized. And so we have to be careful. That we have to be careful of certain language that we use. So,
and also certain words that we put up in questions.
Yes, and certain words that you put up in questions. So if you see the comment deleted, it's not that we're being mean. It's just that there's certain words and comments that they do not like for us to put on the channel either.
It hits the algorithm.
Correct, it's the algorithm. So
we're not sugarcoating when we use words like unalive.
Right, exactly. So if you're going to, please don't send any nasty comments or emails or anything like that. We're fully aware, but so sometimes we have to use euphemisms instead. So,
but you guys get the same idea.
Gettysburg is about to sell out. So we as of today, I think we had 8 openings. So if you're interested, call my office tomorrow, because it's selling out really fast. I think 8 openings, but over the weekend, our office is closed on Sundays and Mondays, but we had over 25 inquiries, not including the emails. So if you're interested, call. And, the thing is, we can wait list you. And if we get cancellations, then we can see if we can get you on the trip. But, perhaps if when this one sells out, then we can perhaps at a later date do another one. So anyway, but make sure you call, so there's my giggle. That's my infomercials. Oh, Androniki. Hi, Androniki. His skincare products are great. And so we were demonstrating masks before we go.
And also we said that Sherry was of a 2-hour party. And so she's in our background doing our wonderful questions and stuff. We couldn't do without her. So if anybody needs to Cajun, Raging, reading.
Raging Cajun.
I'm dyslexic, whatever.
Are you bad backwards? Backwards?
Yeah, exactly. Swamp. Somebody wanted the phone number once. I handed them my phone book, and they said it's the wrong number. I said, no, it's not. And I looked at it and dialed it, and I got the right number. I'd written the number down wrong, but when I dialed it, I still dialed it right. Whatever.
The
first time I went to Hawaii, my eyes just popped from all the,
I screwed up. I had it posted that we alternate channels every week. That you were on my channel tonight. Well, it's each other's channel really when we do this, but so I had to rectify it. So if you guys are watching on the other channel, I apologize. It was my mistake. I got my
It's
week
okay.
mixed up. So my bad. My bad.
No, you're not. You're Mel.
Right.
And just to let everyone know, today is February the 17th. So what's important about the 17th? We have a solar eclipse. It's also the first day of the fire horse. And in Chinese calendar, it's Lunar New Year. And we're going into the animal sign is the horse, the element is fire. So I do have a guided meditation, not a meditation, an interview video. I'm sorry. A video up about 2006, the year of the fire horse, your complete guide to every sign, what you guys need to know. For each sign, there are chapters, so don't say, I can't find it. It's there. Okay?
I think Happy New Year in Chinese is, I don't know if it's Mandarin or Cantonese. Xing Nian Kuai Lu. Xing Nian Kuai Lu, I think.
Xing Kuai Lu, yes.
There you go.
Xing Xing.
That's all I know. Xing Nian Kuai Lu. They could be talking to me and be like, Xing Nian Kuai Lu.
Yes. And then you say Xing Xing.
That's all I know.
That's thank you.
Oh, okay.
Or
Sounds
when
like
you say, hey, how are you? It's like, oh, well, hi, how should I say anything? So anyway, that's up there. And then what I'll be doing is starting today, I'll put each individual sign up in a playlist. So that's that. Also, we will be starting the only Mercury retrograde. And that's starting on the 26th, going to the 20th. So I do have a guided meditation talking about the positive aspects of a retrograde and how to deal with the energy and to work with you as opposed to working against you. So check that out too. Right to my site. And if anybody's looking for me for a reading and I'm not on Wilshire Boulevard with a sign that says we'll read for food, you can find me here at ArthurEaseYourMind.com. And that's my infos. Ta-da! Thanks, everyone. And we have 1111 in the room. Great number.
I couldn't hear you.
And we have 1111 in the room. A great
cool.
number.
Let me see here. There we go. Are we ready for questions?
Yes, I think we are.
Questions. I do want to say it's a sad day because Jesse Jackson died today.
Yeah.
And Jesse is huge with civil rights. But I feel like his spirit is going to be working from the other side to stop this tyranny and to stop this bigotry and hatred and injustice that's going on in this country, along with Dr. Martin Luther King and Abraham Lincoln and all the other Bobby Kennedy, along J.F.
John Lewis.
Right. A lot of the great civil rights leaders who have passed over. And, my guides are telling me there's going to be some really active civil rights leaders coming out as a result of this Trump regime, speaking out against it. Barack Obama is really being vocal, and I'm watching him. And, watch what he's saying. It's really interesting, and he makes good points.
And it's nice to hear a president who speaks with articulation.
And who speaks with intelligence.
Yeah.
And without just being so nasty and so bombastic.
I always say Trump talks some word salads. I always want like a French dressing afterwards. So let's get to some questions. What do you say?
Let's get this shoe on the road.
Hannah Webb. Will those of us with married names have to have our birth certificate changed so we can vote? I don't see the SAFE Act passing in the Senate.
It's not going to pass the Senate. It passed the House. But I want to tell you something. Those House members that let it pass, the Republican ones, midterms are coming. So they, I don't know what they were thinking.
Yeah, it was 218 to 213.
I think they did it to appease, Trump and Johnson, but knowing that it would never pass the Senate.
Right.
But that's just not a. I mean, that's that.
Well, he's threatening a executive order if they stall it in the Senate. He invoked the executive order, that'll go right to lawsuit. So,
Well, he can try an executive order, but that's not going to mean anything.
and because it deals with voting.
Right. I mean, and if it went to the Supreme Court, my feeling is they wouldn't uphold it. So.
Correct. It's the same thing. So no, I don't think they'll have to change everything.
Right.
Thanks, Hannah. Great question. Hi, Sandy. The scuttlebutt is that Alito will be retiring soon. Will 45 get another Supreme Court pick? I've never seen Trump picking somebody else for the Supreme Court. Honestly.
I haven't heard that Alito's going to retire. I mean, if Trump puts somebody on there, it's really not going to change the makeup of the court any. I hope it's not Eileen Cannon, but
Oh no, that would not happen.
that would not be good.
No.
Um,
It won't be Donna Rice, I can tell you that.
I still see 2 of those justices impeached and 1 resigning. So
Yeah. We see it. And as I've always said, in 5 years, we got 13. In about 5 years, we should have 13 courts. 13 judges for one for each court.
there you go.
Thanks, Andy. Great question. Hi, Laura in Austin. FCC Chairman Brendan Carr is pressuring Colbert, Kimmel, and The View, etc., that they must have a Dem and a GOP candidate, but he won't do the same for AM radio. Will AM ever be fair? Remember how it used to be where everybody had a balanced, supposedly, quote unquote?
He can pressure all he wants, but the fair doctrine went by the wayside. I do at some point see it brought back once Cittadini is gone and Shady and the Maybelline Queen. But he can pressure all he wants, but my feeling is they're not going to bow to his pressure like some of the other stations have.
Exactly. Thank you, Laura. Hi, Sherry. Tallarico or Rocket in Texas primary?
I'm feeling Crockett.
So am I.
If they count the votes right.
Yeah. But if Crockett does win, Tallarico will be there helping and doing everything he can to help her, and vice versa. Hi, Brenda. Hi, Arthur and Mel. Will the Gordie Howe Bridge between Michigan and Canada open without the felons BS shutdown? This is the bridge going from Michigan to Canada, going to Ontario, that Trump is saying until Canada treats us more fair, he's not going to let it open.
Here's what I have to say to Donald on that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Gordie Howe was one of my you got it. Read the book, right? The encyclopedia. Gordie Howe.
Between the lines.
Gordie Howe's one of my favorite hockey players. But I see 2 or 3 delays with it, and Trump will try to keep it from happening. But I don't know if it's the courts will say you can't do that. You got to open it. So I do see it being opened. Yes.
Well, the Dems are saying they're going to put a bill up.
They're going to what?
They're going to do a bill if he tries.
And they will. So he can try to shut it down, but it's not going to succeed. I mean, he might briefly, but I still see 3 delays. But I see that my guys are telling me it will be open.
Yes.
Good question, Brenda. You'll go Gordie. I'm sure he's working from the other side doing his thing.
Sure is too. Another one from Laura. Billionaire Trump supporter John Paulson is moving his company to China after arguing against offshoring. 150 union jobs will be lost. Will there ever be laws to stop this?
The hypocrisy just fries me. I'm like, whoa.
What happened to America First?
Yeah, right. America first. Um, I see legislation being passed after Ciolini is gone and the Maybelline Queen to say that if companies stay here, they'll get a little bit of a tax break. If they take jobs away from here and put them overseas, then they're going to have to pay more taxes.
Yeah.
Now everybody's going to be up in arms about that, but that's how I see it playing out. And, I don't think the Chinese are going to, I don't know how well that Paulson's company is going to be received in China. I see him having a lot of problems with the Chinese government. So I call that karma.
With a capital K.
You got it.
Thanks, Laura. Any more? Hello to you, Arthur and Mel. Thanks for doing this. Has Trump already pardoned all his administration?
You can't pardon somebody for a crime that they haven't committed.
Preemptively?
That would be like saying, I give you a blanket pardon and you can go out and do anything you want. You can cheat, you can rob, you can steal, you can rob a bank, you can do this, but you don't have to worry because you got a pardon. My feeling is that would not hold up in court. A blanket pardon won't hold up. I think people like Pam Bondi and Kristi Noem and Kash Patel and Stephen Miller, they're doing this crap because they know that Trump will pardon them, or they think. But here's what I see. Even if he pardoned them, and even if those pardons held up, I see then the states would have on them, and they'll say, we're going to try them in the states. Yes. So the presidential pardon wouldn't hold water. And that's how I see that playing out.
I was going to say, though, you say you can't do it preemptively if you're lying, cheating, and stealing. They've already done all that, so it wouldn't be preemptive, would it?
Bingo.
Right. I know. There's a folder right next to the folder with the divorce papers that just have to be signed.
Bingo.
Thanks, Annie. Virgo, Saab. Will Zorro Ranch yield any bodies now that New Mexico has opened an investigation?
I hear you.
Smoke, there's fire.
I'm sorry?
Where there's smoke, there's fire.
Not
right away, though.
I'm hearing skeletal remains, but then they'll have to say, to whom did they belong?
Yeah.
And lots of them.
Well, it's just a dark period in our history.
We will get through this dark period.
Yeah, we will. But thank you for the question. Hi, Shelia. Will the FCC chairman or chairwoman of CBS, Barry Weiss, female, be held liable for interfering Talarico interview with Stephen Colbert?
What do you think?
No.
But not legally. However, a lot of people are boycotting CBS because of Barry Weiss. And once Trump is gone, there's going to be so many complaints about her and all of that stuff that people aren't, CBS is going to have a lot of financial issues because of this Barry White thing, because people aren't going to be watching. Sponsors aren't going to want to put products up because people will boycott the products. And so...
Anderson Cooper just left 60 Minutes.
Right. I see them getting rid of Barry Weiss.
Yeah, I do too.
I thought Anderson Cooper was on CNN.
He is, but he does a segment on 60 Minutes.
Well, and other people are going to be leaving en masse too. And I see a general strike coming in this country as well.
You're saying that.
Yeah. So she's not going to be gone tomorrow at 2:30, but my guides tell me the number 1.5. So it could be a month and a half. It could be a year and a half. But my feeling is within the next year and a half, she will be gone.
Oh yeah, and I feel there's some lawsuits coming up against her too.
I'm sorry, say again.
And I feel there will be lawsuits against her too.
There's going to be lawsuits against her for libel and discrimination and things like that. Yes, and many of them will win, but they're gonna lose a lot of money. So,
and also the people that she brought in will be under indictments too.
They're all going to be canned as well.
Mm-hmm. So thank you. Hi, David. Soul fan. Charlie here.
Good question.
Hi, Mel, Arthur, and all. Will the Democrats boycott 47 state of the delusion address? I think walking out at the first line, basically as soon as he opens his mouth, would be more impactful.
I do see some Democrats boycotting it, just saying we're not going to sit through this. There's a German word and it's a Yiddish word, Narrigkeit. It means through this BS, and they're going to be like, we're not going to sit here through this Narrigkeit. And yeah, I see a boycott, absolutely.
I would be like a judge for a diving competition, and every time he lied,
or the BS bell.
Well, that makes noise, but every time he lied, just flip the thing 1, 2, 3. You'd have a fan by the end of the night.
Well, when do you know he's lying?
His mouth is moving.
He opens his mouth.
He's breathing.
Right. He walks. He breathes.
Yeah, look for the strings. Maybe Geppetto's in charge.
He's living proof there really was a zombie apocalypse.
No, I love bizarre movies, and there's one called Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter or Killer. It's a really good one. It really is.
I should ask Cheetolini if human beings evolved from cockroaches, or if he's in that line. I think.
Well, he's more in crabgrass than cockroaches. He's more related to the big carrot from Lost in Space.
Oh, remember that? That was funny.
Yeah, there is the big carrot, right?
Yeah, carrot has a purpose.
Yeah. Laura asks, Obama has been in the news lately speaking out about this administration and getting standing ovations. Is he at all considering running for president?
He can't.
He's not.
He can't.
He's doing this to just light a fire under somebody's
He's termed out. He even said that, his term limits are up, but that, if he ran for any kind of office, it would be like for some committee or something. He's not going to do that because he wants to save his marriage. But he can be more effective at doing interviews and speaking out and doing the things he's doing. Like the presidential library is going to open in June here in Chicago. I want to see how I can volunteer because I want to volunteer there. I got a funny feeling I'm going to meet him.
Which president? Just kidding.
Yeah, right.
What's going to be in Trump's library? All the stolen documents?
A gold toilet.
Ronald McDonald coloring book.
A line of BS.
The penthouse on the cover.
So, Barack's is going to be like, it'll be a museum, but also there will be like equality, diversity, inclusion. It's going to have a basketball court so people can, play hoops. It's going to be really for everybody. And I really want to volunteer there. I have to figure out how I'm going to do it. I will.
I will be honest with you. Every time I look at this, it's on the 24th. I kept on feeling it may be delayed.
I see a delay with it, but I think by volunteering there, it's we can stand up and do.
The library is a great idea.
Well, because it's helping. It's gonna be a tremendous asset to the community. Mm-hmm. That's what Barack Obama is all about.
Mm. I like this one.
I saw Trump's library will be filled. be filled with BS. Somebody said that they're clean and sober today for 29 years. Yay. Congratulations.
That's wonderful.
Yay. Wow.
Later
Congratulations.
Heavy Mackie. Congratulations.
Hey, you got your power back. You go. That's
Yeah.
incredible.
I think it's wonderful. Sally's asking, will Dan Patrick be reelected lieutenant governor of Texas?
I got a feeling Texas is going to go purple.
Yeah, that's what I said to Marcia too.
A lot of states, look what happened in Texas in that race where, it was so deeply red, and then
22 plus red.
a Democrat won it. And we're going to see that in a lot of red states, like in Kansas with all this ICE stuff going on. I got a feeling that there's going to be a lot of Democrats winning elections there too.
Yeah, I think people are going to be surprised. Yeah, I keep on hearing Jim Neighbors, surprise, surprise, surprise. Thank you, Jim. MG, what really happened in the airspace over El Paso when it was reported that ground missile lasers were used to shoot down party balloons?
That's the first I've heard of it. I don't know what occurred.
They actually shut down the airspace in El Paso.
I'm sorry, say again?
They did shut down the airspace above El Paso.
Oh, because they didn't know what was flying over or something?
Drones or something or whatever.
I don't think it was ETs. I think it was
They would have shot back.
right.
Just kidding. Entertainment purposes only, people. I'm not sure. Let's see. Will the Senate and Congress put specific accountability concerning the emollients clause after the dumpster's out of office? Does the bear live in the woods?
Is the Pope a Catholic? Are we having bobbleheads?
Let's just, I was trying to sync up. Yeah.
That's a yes. That's really a yes. That's many yeses.
Yeah. Hi, Cheryl. Supposedly Trump took the Resolute desk out to be cleaned, from boogers? After the booger incident. Ooh, sorry, I didn't remember Elon's kid did that. Then it was seen in Mar-a-Lago. Will it ever make its way back to the White House?
When he doesn't have the right to take it, and once he's out of office, if he tries to keep it at Mar-a-Lago, it will be confiscated. It will be back in the White House.
They're going to have to clean out of the rug underneath that desk.
They say he's a germphobe, actually. But, with his history with who.
Well, he's sitting there and, whatever.
It was his history with what. It's like, he's a germphobe, but that's what they say.
He's explosive at moments.
The incident.
Which one? Hi, Rhonda. Hello, Arthur and Mel. Will Chiellini give the State of the Union speech? And if so, will it be obvious to everyone that he has dementia? Thank you.
I think by law he has to. But it's going to be so rambling and so disjointed with no stream of thought. I mean, it's going to, and then, the economy's best. I heard on Fox News, the economy's the best it's ever been. I'm like, I don't know.
Where? When?
What planet are they on?
Yeah, Jupiter?
Ain't the same one that we're on. He's going to talk about the wonderful things we've done. Look at what we've done. The economy's great. The country's great. We're securing world peace. We're standing. It's
entertainment purposes only. They're going to pump them full of drugs, and they're eating the dogs and cats.
It's going to be just so disjointed.
Actually, you know what he's going to look like? That Biden was a Nobel laureate giving his speech when they had their debate. Trump was going to be so far gone.
His mouth is going to be drooping a little bit.
Droopy drawers.
And other things.
Yes.
Like, I just had this flash. Remember when all the reporters were in his office and they all had to leave because
get out, go. And the woman behind was like gagging.
I've got a feeling that's going to happen. I don't know if it's the State of the Union, but it's somewhere he's addressing Congress, and all of a sudden people are going, Okay.
Oh, good. We
No, I see that. My guides are showing me that.
when Mike Johnson and JD Vance are like throwing up behind him,
Hey, what do you see happening to Mike Johnson?
going back to Grinder.
I hear arrivederci. I still see a petition circulating to get rid of him.
Yeah. Firefly, do you see Maybelline Queen and him betraying each other and throwing each other under the bus? I feel 45's already thrown Vance under the bus a number of times.
45 or Cittadini's not going to finish out his term in office. We've all been saying that. And so if JD Vance becomes president, he won't last long and he'll be a total lame duck.
Gives ducks a bad name.
Right, exactly. And this Project 2025 and all that stuff is going to blow up in their face. The reason that they want to limit women's right to votes is because they know that the women will never vote for Cittadini and his cronies. But it's not going to succeed. Don't you all worry about the SAFE Act. I want to assure you that it will not pass the Senate.
Yeah, I don't see it.
So, betraying each other, I think you're right, Arthur. I think they already have. I think Trump is just kind of pushing him off in the corner until Trump needs him to be a mouthpiece, and then pushes him back in the corner. There's going to be some juicy, juicy scandals coming out about Maybelline Queen. I love it. Huge.
The thing is, anybody can do what they want, but the fact that the guy has legally changed his name 3 times, that bothers me for some reason. Is JD Vance a stage name?
It's like, excuse me, Maybelline Queen, do you ever get up in the morning looking in the mirror wondering who you really are?
Yeah, who am I anyway? Hi, right. Sharon. Will Peter Thiel have a role in politics in 5 years? Maybe in another country?
Nope.
No. He's a sad man. Entertainment purposes only.
What do you think about Cohn? He was fired from the Midas Network.
Michael Cohen was going on and on saying how he could get help Trump. And he's going back to work for Trump. So Midas Network didn't want anything to do with him. They didn't really fire him. They just were not associated with him.
So do you think that Cohen is going to go back and talk to Trump or help Trump?
It depends where the money is.
I don't see that happening. I'm not taking up for Cohen, but I mean, it just, if that's the case, it just shows like, wait a minute, where's he coming from? And it's just that, then he's just as equally as narcissistic as the Cittadini.
Well, he started apparently doing all this stuff as soon as his name showed up in the Epstein files.
Well, yeah, that's a diversion. And notice when this Epstein files things gets hot again.
Look over here.
How all of a sudden Trump,
over there.
The whole, well, we Iran, we're ready to go into Iran. It's like, wait a minute here. That's a diversion. And it puts Epstein files on the back burner for a while, but they'll come front and center when Pam Bondi says it's done, they're over. They ain't over, because what happened in France with them raiding Elon Musk's office and other countries.
But now in France they're raiding corporate offices.
Bingo. There's a lot of names, both Republican and Democrat, and some very high officials all over the world in those files. And my feeling is that France and 2 other countries, UK and another country, has the files in their entirety, and they're going to release.
I've always said from day one that Scotland Yard has a lot.
Right.
And also Germany.
That's right. Oh, ooh. You know what? As we were talking,
Yeah.
Something just came across my screen. I'm going to read it. It says Nicole Wallace reacts to the continued fallout over the way Trump's Justice Department has handled the Epstein files scandal and how the lies fed to the MAGA base have backfired spectacularly on the administration. And there's more lies coming out too. Uncovering the lies. Oh, here's another one. How about this one? Michael Fanone show. Dear MAGA, none of you hated NATO until Trump told you to. None of you wanted Greenland until Trump threw a tantrum. None of you thought tariffs were a good idea until Trump shoved them down your throats. You all are letting the dumbest man alive do all of your thinking for you. I like that.
Yeah. Is Trump sending missiles to Iran? Asks Lillian.
I don't see that.
No. I recently said on my show, if he does not do anything in 4 weeks, he's not going to do anything. Sending the aircraft carriers over there and everything is just saber rattling and optics.
Right. It's just bullying. And now there's supposedly, I saw in the news today, I just Googled breaking news right before we got started, and it said that, they've reached a deal. I'm going, a deal on what? Now it's about nuclear arms. It's not about so much the protest, it's about nuclear arms. And I'm thinking to myself, Trump's got a lot of, a lot of chutzpah to talk about, protecting people's rights in Iran when he's letting his ICE agents send innocent people here to concentration camps and kill innocent people and then cover it up right to our eyes, right to our faces when our eyes saw what happened. So,
don't let your eyes, what you see, fool you. Well, thank you, Janet. That is so sweet of you.
Yeah, super sticker there.
Where is Nancy Guthrie? Is she in America still?
I've answered that so many times, and everybody's their brothers wanting to know.
All I say is I don't see a good outcome. Period. That's all
I don't either. I just don't see a good outcome, and I think the perpetrators. I intuit there's more than one. Did she know them like I would know you were sharing? No. Was one of them a familiar face? The answer is yes. But what kind of frosts me about it is notice how the FBI, when there was those shootings in Minneapolis, all of a sudden,
right on top of it,
they had the answers, but yet this has been going on for weeks. And I'm not saying they're not doing their job, but yet they I don't know what they've got to go on, a little piece of DNA, but my point is how Johnny on the spot, they can make something up in Minneapolis, but yet here, when it comes to real police work and real investigative work and real law enforcement, under Kash Patel, they don't have a clue. I'm sure there's some very good agents working for the FBI.
No, there's agents, but it's the top people that are just putting out the propaganda.
Exactly.
They didn't.
It's a tragedy what happened, and I really feel bad for the family.
Right, but also let the family grieve and figure out what's going on. And once we know all the information, but conspiracies don't help.
It's going to take a while for the perpetrators to be apprehended. And I agree, Arthur. It's not time for conspiracy theory. It's time for good, hard, honest, investigative work from more than one agency.
Yeah. Well, my prediction was by March 3rd, they'll have somebody's going to be in custody. And I feel 3 people involved, and one person's going to try and travel, and that's how they're caught. So we'll see if
I see one person going to kind of brag about it, and then that person's going to go to the powers that be. So.
Yeah. All we can do is, pray for the family, pray for her soul.
It's a horrible thing. It really is.
Thank you, Steph Smith. Firefly.
Lorazepam. I love that.
No, she's too witty. Lorazepam. Actually, somebody called her Pam Bondage the other night.
Lorazepam You know what lorazepam is? Valium.
Right here.
There-
Oh,
Yeah, here. Peppermint. Liquid.
I'm teasing. It's not. It's my blood pressure medication. Is her
Yeah,
brother
cover up Arthur.
involved? Is this why she's protecting them? No, she's protecting her brother. Could be in it. She wouldn't care. It's her protecting Trump. Bondi is bonding all of the U.S. together. Everyone wants to impeach her on all sides.
And she will be.
And they came out with that picture of her with Trump and Epstein together at a party.
You know, Trump has been telling her what to do, and she's doing it hook, line, and sinker. And when I see her testifying to Congress, that cocky, flippant attitude,
Oh,
I just want to, ugh.
well, yeah. Somebody asked me on my Sunday show about her, and I said, will that smirk ever go away? I said, when she has her come to Jesus meeting and Jesus bitch slaps her.
You know, it's funny. It's not funny, but somebody asked the question, when she's indicted, will she still have this smug attitude? And I said, yeah, she'll be flippant. This is a witch hunt. I mean, she's a female version of Donald Trump. Here's what they're doing to me, blah, blah, blah. Well, when she's going to end up in Orange Sliders and her law license is revoked and she's going to end up in the pokey, then we shall see. And I want to see how Kristi Noem acts too. When
I can't wait to see her when she can't dye her hair and it's this mousy brown, and Kristi Noem can't get her fillers and she loses her thinking.
Can you imagine her and Pam Bondi in the same cell? I mean, Pam Bondi and Kristi Noem in the same cell. Wow.
Oh my God, it's a movie. It's like, yeah, Mean Girls too.
Two biatches fighting it out, right?
As told by Elaine Maxwell. What a story. How will the University of Kentucky do in March Madness, Mel?
Well, you know, I'm it's hard for me because, you know, I'm from Kentucky originally. Well, I've been here in Illinois longer than I've been in Kentucky, but my great niece lives in Lexington, and University of Kentucky is an excellent school. Got a good medical school there. Good, excellent university. So I'm going to say they're going to do well because I am rooting for UK.
Oh.
So, and if I'm wrong, I'll still say I'm a UK fan.
If she doesn't shoot it first.
Sharon, that's good. That's a good girlfriend. You go, girl.
How we got that one. Thank you. I think we have time for one more question here tonight. Hi, Arthur and Mel. Do you see the sycophants burying 45 in Arlington with a tomb grander than JFK's?
No, because once he croaks, nobody's going to want to pay for it. And if he's,
the thing is, his eternal flame is just somebody dropping a match, and all the fat just keeps on going.
That's not going to happen. JFK's, you know, because he was assassinated, but also he was a great president. You know, Trump thinks that he's the best president. He even said, "I'm the best president."
Well, we'll want to put his name over JFK's, be buried above JFK, and change the name.
No, it's like, you know, that whole thing with JFK Center. You know,
oh please.
Well, the reason, you know, he shut it down on purpose because nobody was performing.
Because everyone was like withdrawing from it.
Well, and then he said it was in disrepair. Well, it was just completely remodeled.
In 2019, it was all redone.
So, you know what? That's a BS excuse. He's just mad because nobody wants to perform there.
No.
But you know, once he's gone, I see his name stripped from everything. Any remembrance of him.
Can we have a sewage plant named after him?
No, that's an insult.
It's bad name for sewage. I know. Or, you know.
You know, I keep having a vision of Trump Tower in Chicago.
I know.
I keep seeing them taking the letters down, but they'll take the T down first. And I keep saying this and leave the word rump up for like however long. There you go. Chicagoans would love that.
Yep. Yeah. No, and what always irks me is the fact that how careless they are. They don't use the same font as the JFK. Nothing the same font. I mean, please. Obviously, there's no DEI with these people because. Never mind.
Well, the fashion police, right?
Yeah.
You know, all that metal and stuff. I see that all melted down and repurposed.
I'm sure Ivanka will try and melt it down and turn it into
Now that's where they can melt that metal down and put it in sewage pipes. That might work.
Yeah, nice idea.
There you go.
All right, let's do just one more.
We still got time. I'm not in a hurry.
Well, Stephen Colbert, Jon Stewart, Rachel Maddow start a streaming group after The Late Show is canceled in April.
I don't know about what their contracts say.
Non-competes.
But we haven't heard the end of Stephen Colbert or Jon Stewart.
Oh.
And they're going to be huge. You know, I see like an independent network picking them up.
I actually get Jon Stewart writing.
Right. Well, you know, go ahead. I'm sorry, Arthur.
I mean, he's great at theater. He's a great actor. So and musical theater too. I just see him doing something writing something, just embarrass the shit out, like a one-man show.
Well, you know, my light bulb just went on. And as I said, I see some streaming networks picking them up, other than, the big ones. Or maybe one of them will have an opportunity to go over to MS Now. But because of, what's going on with Stephen Colbert and Jon Stewart, there's going to be a lot of people boycotting those networks. And this could really be the end of some of the big networks because of the way they behaved and the way they have supported Cittadini. And that's what I see coming down the pike. So.
Can't broadcast us.
Right? Hold on, I got a breaking news here. Hold on. Oh. Listen to this one. Hold on a second. Oops, if I can find it. Oh. Breaking. Representative Nancy Mace alleges that numerous Epstein files were quietly pulled down. Quietly.
Yeah, we don't know about it.
From the public website after initial release. Pam Bondi, it says, received $2.3 million from one of the billionaire Epstein suspects she redacted. Wow. So there you go.
Well, that'll just go into her prison fund. She'll be able to get, cigarettes and coffee and all that from her prison account, right?
And doo-doo bags to clean my poop. Wonder how many poop bags that will buy. We're on a roll tonight, Arthur. I'm having fun with this.
I always have fun with you, Mel. I love it.
I mean,
let's try another one.
The crazy side of me's out. Cage it, Mel. Cage it. Nah, let it out. Let it play.
Somebody fed him and gave him water after midnight.
Ooh, yeah.
Like a gremlin.
Call me Gizmo. I had a dog named Gizmo. She was a sweetie.
All right, let's see here. Let's try another question, Sherry.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Poor Sherry, she's going, I'm looking. Back to Gizmo, I had this beagle, and after midnight, when she was a puppy, she would whine. And I couldn't think of a name, and I saw Gremlins on television, and I thought, Gizmo, and her registered name was Mel's Midnight Gremlin, because after midnight, she would get a little little turd. She was such a sweet little dog, but oh my goodness, she was.
Here's a good one from ED. Hi, y'all. The WEF is trying to push mandatory digital ID worldwide by 2027. Will that happen? China has already implemented it.
What is the WEF? Do you know?
No. Sorry.
Well, what's
digital ID worldwide, but I mean, is that like your real ID?
What's going on now is it's called electronic travel authorization. So it's kind of like a visa, but not. Like, for example, to go into the UK now, you have to take your picture and then it has to match like what's on your passport, and then you pay like £6 or £8, and it's good for the duration of your passport. Which reminds me, I just renewed my passport. I got to renew my picture, and the European Union and the European Union is going to start doing it. It's been delayed, but I think they're going to start doing it within the next year. And I see a lot of other countries.
I agree with this. I mean, it's like I have global entry.
Yeah, me too.
Stuff like that.
Well, and it's automatically digital. Like when I go through the global entry, you used to have to stand in front of the camera. I don't even know if you do that. You do, but it's like instant.
It takes your picture and your fingerprints on file.
Right. I just see it's going to be the wave of the future,
Yeah. I don't mind digital ID. Can I Photoshop it though?
No, I don't think so.
That's not me.
I'm looking at this.
Rumor has it the official nickname for Epstein Island is Kid Rock.
Wow. I love it. Here I looked in the Schengen zone in Europe. Those are countries where they're part of the European Union. You can go from country to country. So, but they are going to. I think a lot of them are going to start requiring that electronic travel authorization. But in the Schengen zone, one would work probably for all of them because they share information. So
I would just tell everyone, if you're going to be traveling, double check through the government websites and also through the country you're going to.
Right.
Double check them.
Yeah,
because laws have been changing about visas, everything, and
Well, and if you're going to travel abroad, make sure that your passport doesn't expire within 6 months of the time you come back. Because if it does, a lot of countries won't let you in. Like I had to renew mine. Mine was going to expire in September, but I've got my trips planned, so I just got it renewed. But yeah,
when you said travel abroad, I kept on thinking J.D. Vance traveling as abroad.
With his Maybelline.
Just saying. Asking for a friend.
I wonder if Maybelline sales went up after he started with this.
No, they'll come out with a... But never mind.
No, he needs to have a new makeup artist, just what I think.
What? I'm waiting for the day he shows up looking like Amy Winehouse. Come on.
With someone saying I'm going to go to rehab.
Yeah, and then no, I'm going to Dances with the Stars.
There you go. That's funny.
All right, everyone.
All right.
Thank you so much for sharing time with us tonight on this wacky Aloha Tuesday.
I think we had a little fun, right?
I hope so. I hope we made people laugh and not at us.
What did Carol Burnett used to say? I'm so glad we had this time together.
Yeah.
I can't sing, but she'd pull her ear. That was her way of letting her grandmother know that she was okay.
Yes. Yep.
TV.
I have a long story about that, but not now.
Okay. Well,
anyway, guys, thank you so much. And
Sherry, thank you.
Thank you, Sherry. But real quick, we'll just go here. If you need to get a hold of the one, the only Auntie Mel. Mel
I don't use Maybelline.
He uses MAC products. So anyway, meldor.com. What was the one that used to come to the houses?
Fuller Brush?
No.
Avon.
The Avon ladies here. Yeah.
I always want to be an Avon lady.
So meldor.com or 847-590-5411. And to get a hold of the Cajun Ragin' Sherry, swampvoices@gmail.com. And for moi, it's Arthur, easeyourmind.com. Again, thank you, everyone.
I think we should do an Arthur and Mel comedy hour. How's that?
Yeah, but we'd have to pay the audience to show up. Oh, wait, that's like Trump.
Yeah, but that's okay. We could put in, the applause meter and the laugh track.
But then we could take it off our taxes. Good idea.
There you go. See?
Well, I'm doing Vegas, so I'll see what the rooms are like. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Happy Mardi Gras. Everybody stay safe, stay well.
So I have my...
Sherry, you want to come front and center and say?
One joke.
Okay. Arthur's got a joke.
It's a true story. Being raised Catholic.
Poor thing.
Tomorrow's Ash Wednesday. I'm going to go not to the pearly gates because when I drove home once, I'm sitting there, I didn't get my ashes, and I know my mother. The first thing she's going to say when I walked in the house, and this is the days when I had my 1964 Belvedere Plymouth with a ashtray full of ashes. My good son.
I used to do that. Like, get ashes, I'd be like, invariably, like, I go to the priest and he knew that I didn't I didn't want that big thing on my forehead, and he would just on purpose. I had a big cross across my forehead. I'm like, could you keep it smaller?
But then my sister would say, that's gray. Those are kind of like, oh, that's in the ashtray. I'm like, oh.
Oh, wow.
Really dark and black. So
where did you get ashes?
That's my Ash Wednesday joke, people.
Did you get ashes too, Sherry? I know. People ask
years.
people I give up for Lent, and I was like eating watermelon or riding in submarines, and they're like, well, you have to give up something to cleanse. I go, from what? I would rather do a good deed for somebody every day, like I try to do every day, because I think God would rather have it that way than I don't know.
I told my mother I'd give up cleaning my room. She said that doesn't count.
I'm going to give up running the vacuum cleaner. There you go.
Like, all right.
Well,
I gave that up a long time ago.
Take off the bead. Show us your top. Never mind.
I love it.
Bye. That's one way this channel get off the channel.
Bye.
All right, guys. Bye-bye.